UN condemned killing of civilians.
Of those journalists killed, especially those representative of the Associated Press, Reuters, and Al Jazeera who are in this room or online. These latest horrific killings highlight the extreme risks that medical personnel and journalists face as they carry out their vital work amidst this brutal conflict. The Secretary General recalls that civilians, including medical personnel and journalists, must be respected and protected at all times. He calls for a prompt, impartial investigation into these killings. He reiterates that medical personnel and journalists must be able to perform their essential duties without interference, without intimidation, and without harm, and in full accordance with international humanitarian law. The Secretary General reiterates his call for an immediate and permanent ceasefire, unfettered humanitarian access across Gaza, and for the immediate and unconditional release of all hostages being held in Gaza. We just also, the horrific attack this morning on Nasser Hospital. Turning to the overall situation in the Gaza Strip, the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs warns that ongoing airstrikes and hostilities, including attacks on healthcare, are causing further casualties and damaging or destroying critical civilian infrastructure. With famine conditions now confirmed in Gaza Governorate, hunger and malnutrition among children is deepening. Our partners working on nutrition remind us that in any food crisis, children with underlying health conditions are affected first, and without proper nutrition, water, and care, their conditions worsen more quickly. Less aid means more malnutrition. We and our partners continue to call for the unrestricted flow of humanitarian aid into and throughout Gaza. Today, the Ministry of Health in Gaza said that 11 people have died from malnutrition and starvation in the past 24 hours. This brings the total number of people who have died due to malnutrition and hunger to 300. That, again, is according to the Gaza Ministry of Health. Across the Strip, people continue to be displaced while seeking safety and shelter. Our partners tracking population movements in Gaza report that since August 20th, some 5,000 people are estimated to have been displaced from northern Gaza to Deir al-Balah and Khan Yunis. Some 8,000 others have been displaced to the west of Gaza City. This brings the total number of new displacements since the end of the ceasefire in mid-March to more than 800,000. Meanwhile, OCHA warns that 8 convoys in Gaza continue to face delays. They continue to face movement restrictions and many other obstacles. Yesterday, out of the 15 humanitarian missions that required coordination, the Israeli authorities facilitated 7, which included the collection of fuel from the Karim Shalom crossing and its distribution to areas where it is needed most. 4 missions had to be either canceled by the organizers or were denied outright by Israeli authorities. The remaining ones were initially approved, but then impeded on the ground and only partially accomplished. Our partners said that several education facilities across the Gaza Strip, all used as shelters for displaced people, were attacked last week, with local authorities announcing that final exams for over 35,000 high school students are due to be held in 2 weeks. We and our partners reiterate our call for the protection of education facilities in accordance with international humanitarian law. Meanwhile, Israeli forces released a World Health Organization colleague who had been detained now for more than a month. Our colleagues at WHO in Geneva obviously welcome the release and called once again for the protection of health staff and all humanitarian workers. OCHA continues to call OCHA continues to call for the protection of civilians, including humanitarians, health workers, and journalists. None should ever be a target. Moving to the situation in southern Lebanon, our peacekeepers there reportedly continued